Alright, kindergarten, so at this point you have cut out your 5 really nice, awesome stars, and we're going to work on gluing them into the sky. So you're going to take your glue, you're going to make sure it can breathe. Oops, it's ready. And you're just going to put some dots of glue in the corners of your star, and then maybe 1 or 2 in the middle. And make sure you're putting glue on the side that has your pencil marks. You want to make sure that you don't see those later on when you're done. So just put some glue in the corners and then flipping them over. If you notice, some of our stars are a darker, almost gold color, and some of them are more yellow. So when something's darker, you want it to be farther away, and when it's closer, you want it to be lighter. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put the darker stars behind, and then, so put those down first, and then I'm going to take my lighter stars and I'm going to layer them on top. So I'm going to flip my paper over, and I'm just going to glue them down. Just putting a couple dots of glue. Standing at my glue, making sure it doesn't run out, and then I can put some of my stars on top. Your stars will be smaller than mine because I'm working on a smaller paper. Or your stars will look smaller than mine because I'm working on a smaller paper than what you guys will be working on. Okay, so I have my overlapping stars. They're kind of close. You guys will spread them out a little bit more. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start to glue on our buildings. If you get glue on your paper where you don't want it, just kind of wipe it off and roll it. It's not a big deal. Okay. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my bigger papers and I'm going to put them in the back. So I'm going to figure out how I want them to be. And I might actually, these are going to be buildings, I might want to cut some of these apart. Make them look a little bit different than each other. It's not all buildings look exactly the same. Maybe I want this one to be like that. Maybe I want that to be on the edge over here. So I can play around with the shapes of my buildings. Remember, this is supposed to be a cityscape, so it's supposed to be in the city, and cities sometimes have different buildings. They don't just look like houses. They have apartment buildings. Cutting off, making sure I make a pile of all my scrap paper. And I'm laying them down, and I always want to test out what they look like before I glue them down. So I'm just playing around a little bit. Do I like this one? Do I want them to go down here? I think I'm okay with those, and I'll put this one down here later on. Okay, so then I put my bigger buildings in the back so that they were all overlapping, and so that you can actually see all of my little buildings. So I'm just putting some dab of glue will do. A dab of glue will do. If you want to stick something on, a dab of glue will do. Remember? So flipping it over, I'm going to make sure my building goes all the way to the edge and all the way down there. And then I'm going to flip this paper over too. Remember to always put glue on the side or on the piece of paper that you are gluing down to the other paper. So always put glue on what's going to get stuck down. And then this last building, maybe I want to cut off this edge over here. Have it over there. Okay, so this is about all we're going to get to today. You can start to put on some of your littler buildings in front, which you're going to glue down the same way. I can maybe put one here, and maybe I can cut down a different one so it has a different shape. But this is probably all we're going to get to today, and that's totally okay. But remember, if you haven't used something, make sure you put it back so that other people can use it if they need it. I'm just cutting out different shapes and gluing them down. Maybe this building is curvy. Maybe this one will go over here. Okay, make sure you glue everything down. All right, kindergarten, if you have any other questions, let me know.